They started on the same Tuesday 3 years ago. Mark and Sarah sat in identical chairs, earned the same $45,000, and shared the same orientation packet. They were equals. But today, the trajectory is snapped. Sarah pushes open the heavy door to a corner office, the sunlight catching the glass of her private space. Her desk is clear, her focus absolute. Across the floor, in a dim row of partitions, Mark remains. He stares at the same flickering monitor he had on his first day. The hum of the office ventilation is the only sound he hears. He checks the clock. It is mid-afternoon, and he is already counting down the hours until he can leave. The gap between them is no longer a distance. It is a canyon. It did not happen by luck. While Mark stayed in the same seat, Sarah moved. She worked differently. Mark waits for the inbox to ping. He scans for the easiest task, the one that keeps him invisible and out of trouble. He avoids the complex problems, fearing the weight of responsibility. Sarah, however, hunts for friction. She watches her team struggle with a manual data entry process that eats 4 hours every single week. She does not wait for an assignment. She sits down, opens her code editor, and builds a script. The 4-hour headache vanishes, replaced by a 40-minute automated process. She is no longer just a pair of hands. She is an asset who solves problems before they become crises. This ownership changes the power dynamic. While most employees dread the annual review, waiting in silence for a manager to deliver a verdict, Sarah changes the rules. Every Friday at 4, she walks into her manager's office. She does not ask for praise. She asks one question: what is the one thing I can change to make your job easier? She turns the review cycle into a weekly conversation. By aligning her output with her manager's immediate needs, she makes herself indispensable. The difference in their value is best seen in the dark. At 9 in the evening, Mark is still at his desk. His eyes are dry, his posture slumped, and he is mindlessly clearing emails that do not move the needle. He believes that staying late proves his dedication. He is burning his mental fuel on low-leverage tasks. Sarah operates by a different law. Every morning from 8 until 10, she locks her office door. No notifications, no meetings, no interruptions. She enters a state of deep work. She produces more value than most do in a full week. She treats her brain like a high-performance engine. While Mark measures his worth by the clock, Sarah measures hers by the output. She knows that time is a finite resource. She leaves the office with her objectives met, while Mark remains trapped. You get paid for the quality of the work. Sarah realizes early that a degree is just a baseline, a common ticket that gets everyone into the same room. To stand out, she stops being a specialist and starts becoming a hybrid. She is a designer by trade, but she notices a recurring problem. Her designs are beautiful, but they fail to convert because the copy is weak and the data tracking is non-existent. She does not wait for the company to hire a copywriter or an analyst. Instead, she spends her weekends learning the fundamentals of behavioral psychology and data analytics. She starts writing her own headlines and tracking the click-through rates of her own layouts. This is the pivot. She is no longer just a graphic designer. She is now a growth designer. She occupies a rare intersection of skills that most firms find impossible to replace. When she presents a project, she does not just show a visual. She explains the conversion rate and the psychological trigger behind the text. This combination makes her rare. It makes her expensive. She has built a moat around her career. While others are competing for the same entry-level roles, she is operating in a category of one. When the time comes to negotiate her salary, Sarah does not rely on tenure or the standard plea of working hard. She knows that effort is subjective, but math is absolute. She walks into her manager's office carrying a physical folder. She places it on the desk. She does not talk about her hours or her dedication. Instead, she opens to a single slide. It shows 2 clear figures: This project generated $200,000 in new revenue, and that initiative cut costs by 15%. The numbers sit in the air, undeniable and stark. Her manager looks at the data, then back at her. There's no room for a debate about feelings or company budgets. The logic is self-evident. By quantifying her impact, Sarah removes the friction. She has turned a negotiation into a simple business calculation. Her boss does not have to fight for her raise. The math does the fighting for him. She leaves the office with the salary increase confirmed, having mastered the art of making her own success an inevitable conclusion. While Mark spends his lunch hours in the break room with peers who trade complaints about the company, Sarah is playing a different game. She ignores the office gossip and looks upward, identifying a vice president whose department is 5 years ahead of her current trajectory. She studies the challenges that leader faces. She finds a specific, recurring bottleneck in their workflow and spends her own time drafting a solution. She sends it over, free of charge, with no expectation of immediate reward. She is building social capital, planting seeds in soil that others do not even see. Her strategy extends to the hours everyone else wastes. During her daily commute, she does not scroll through social media or listen to music. She consumes industry-specific podcasts and technical lectures. That is 180 hours of specialized knowledge every single year. While her colleagues are distracted by the noise of the day, she is absorbing the architecture of her industry. She is turning dead time into a competitive advantage. Mark is still waiting for a promotion to find him, but Sarah is actively constructing the path that leads directly to the top of the hierarchy. The distance between Mark and Sarah is no longer a matter of months or minor performance metrics. It is hardened into a canyon. Mark remains in the same cubicle he occupied 3 years ago. The fluorescent light above his desk flickers with a rhythmic, irritating buzz. He stares at the same monitor, scrolling through the same endless stream of emails that require no original thought. His output is steady, predictable, and entirely replaceable. He is a cog that has stopped turning, yet he remains in the machine. Across the floor, the environment is different. Sarah has moved beyond the cubicle walls. Her desk is clear. Her focus is sharp. Mark has talent, but talent is a static resource. Without the habits of automation, his potential is trapped in a cycle of maintenance. He is working to keep his head above water, while Sarah is building the boat that will carry her to the next level. The reality is cold and mechanical. Effort without direction is just motion, and motion without leverage is a slow slide into total obsolescence. The final step is not a surprise to anyone who watched the process. Sarah stands before the heavy door of the corner office. She does not hesitate. She pushes it open and steps inside, leaving the noise of the open floor behind. The air here is still. The desk is expansive, and the view overlooks the city skyline. On the blotter lies the document that formalizes her new reality. A 6-figure salary. It is the mathematical result of 3 years of relentless, calculated discipline. She signs the paper, sets the pen down, and looks out the window. Down on the floor, 50 yards away, Mark is still sitting in his cubicle. He is typing a response to a thread that will be forgotten by tomorrow morning. He does not see her. He does not know that the gap between them has reached its absolute peak. Sarah has arrived. The story of Mark and Sarah is not a distant observation. It is a mirror. You possess the same talent, the same hours, and the same potential for growth. But potential remains dormant until it is forced into the light by discipline. Tomorrow morning, when you arrive at your desk, do not open your email first. Instead, open a new folder on your desktop. Name it Wins. Every time you complete a project that saves time, cuts costs, or generates revenue, document it. This is not vanity. It is the evidence required to demand your worth. Next, silence your phone and close your browser tabs for 2 hours. Protect this time with the same intensity you would guard a physical vault. Use these hours for deep work, not for maintenance. Do not wait for a promotion to act like an owner. Do not wait for a crisis to build your network. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not a matter of luck or timing. It is a matter of habits. Every choice you make today is a vote for the version of yourself you will become tomorrow. If you change your habits, your reality must follow. The desk is yours. The tools are in your hands. Start now.